Hello and welcome, as it is the 15th day of February 2018. My name is Derek, everything within your own risk, own reward. Let's take a look at a bunch of different altcoins in this video, and I'm going to start off with code POT, and I'm going to do such on the 1 minute time frame. This isn't moving every minute, but every trade will have different time frames, because this can go several minutes without a trade, even on a large exchange like Bittrex. I have two circles in here. One on this green candle and one on this red candle, because I can trade this like a boss, and I bought here, well, at that time, and I sold here. Okay. Because this trades on multiple exchanges and I am looking for opportunities, I was able to see that someone was eager enough to want to unload a decent amount of these at the price of 1,650 Satoshi. So I bought it up here at 14.51. And then this here, it's nice for me to say, hey, I was responsible for at least one period of a decent sized candle, albeit a red one, but still. The whole point to this was because when I was looking at the decision on whether to buy a decent amount, I see there was a decent buy wall at this time that was growing. Now the growth stopped at this point. And I was obviously hoping for spectacular gains, but the time to transfer from 14.51 to 15.19 was almost 1/2 of an hour. So within that time frame, there are several things that can happen, and what happened was not much at all, which is obviously fine. Maybe the market falls and I lose on the trade, and I can lose a decent amount making a large size purchase. And on the upside, this thing could have just went off, and if, say, 5 minutes after I bought, maybe this thing goes to 1780. I was actually hoping that half hour after the purchase, this thing would have been 1900 or 2000, and it could have been, but that's playing this game, so to speak. So the net result was getting an okay normal size position that I would like to get in for, but actually a small shade larger rather. So 30-40% of a larger size position, I held on to it at the average price of 600, a little over 600 Satoshi. Because I didn't sell everything, but I sold close to 98% of it, 97%, a large size of it. And now I have an entry into this code. Let's take a look at this on a more longer term time frame. And the daily seems to work fine. It's really not doing much, but look at these little moves in here. If I take them back, you'll see a bit of action in here. Volatility shrinking, indecision. Oh, you could say bear setup, it could go lower. Well, I bought at 600, so that's fine. But whenever these things are ready to go, they go. So therefore, we've seen a situation, December 17th, mathematics, let's talk about it. 1600 making a move up to 38. Okay, better than double. Let's just scroll this back more. We'll talk about these two plays here, but this broke out from around 1500 and rallied up to 4100, even 3700 here. Wow. Triple, better than the such. But even going 3700 on a short-term move back down to 26 allows for good day trading opportunities. But whenever you see these and you have your sell orders placed, or you happen to be available to see it within time, then you are able to get some good profits. If you have a sell order near the top, that's spectacular. Oh, let's just assume, what was the high? Especially if you went under 10. High was 98.08. Anything underneath that, if you had 97, 8,900, the thing comes back down to 2,000. You could technically buy like 3 or 4 times that amount and get them for free almost. Meaning, let's assume, well, yeah, let's assume that you sold like, say, 1,000 at that price for, I don't know, say 8% of, or whatever, say you sold for 10% of a Bitcoin. Now, your original entry cost was, say, whatever, it's small. Now you're buying like, say, 0.07 worth or whatever it is. You're going to get a lot more back. And then it happens again. And oh, well, this time instead of getting like 10% of a Bitcoin, you got like 35% of a Bitcoin because you have more from the last trade. And then it comes back down again to the same situation. Now, if it would have shot up here again, you would have ended up getting maybe 75% of a Bitcoin because of how you're playing the game. But of course, that hasn't happened yet. But we've seen these moves occur over and over and over again. There's a small one here. There's a situation of a buy. You don't get as many of these ones that go lower like that than you do on the upside. So sell orders are the name of the game. And mathematically speaking, it's a lot easier to flood accounts with sell orders than buy orders, because once you buy a particular code, unless there's something weird or different you want to do, it's either you hold them or you put orders in. So that's, what else are you going to do with them? So you might as well put some nice sell orders in. Whether you get them hit or not, you could say, yep, okay, I bought down here. I'm going to put a nice little sell order in for 5,000 or 8,000, and this happens, and you don't get it. Okay, so be it. But if it would have had a big move, you would have. And then in situations like in here, I had a sell order for like 6,000 when you're down here. Well, the market's moving up, and you sold up here at 6,000. Opportunity galore to acquire back in time. I want to take a look at those days now, these ones in here, and see on the short-term time frame what they look like. We're looking at November 5th through November 21st. Let's take a look at this on the, see if I got data on the 1 hour. Oh, I do. And there's the moves right there. So even here, let's see how much time you had to react to them. This one here, you didn't have much time. Whether you could have gotten on here and managed to make a play, well, obviously, if you were there at that time, that's why sell orders always work. I mean, you could be in a situation where you're sleeping at 6. This is New York time, 8 o'clock. At 8 o'clock for me, I'm barely up. But if you're in California, that's 5 a.m. You're well, depending on who you are, you might be sleeping. Or you're in a situation where it's in Europe and it's lunchtime and you're out for lunch at this point. You left just before here and you come back and it's 24:21 after it was 1500. You're happy you have those gains, but you missed out on tremendous sell opportunities. But if you did go out for lunch at this time and you had a sell order in for 7400, you come back and you're like, ooh, on any of these points, you come back this point in here, you've gone for, say, a few hours, you do some errands, you check your computer 4 hours later, it's 23:32, and you see you had a sell order hit at like 6,000. If you sold 100, you could buy back like 300 or 200, or buy that 100 back and take good Bitcoin profit. That lunch was paid for, maybe something else on top of it. And the next situation in which it had that move, let me just try to track it down because it's right here. Same thing again. It just goes straight up and back down. I'm now just curious to see the shortest term. I'm actually going to be able to see this now. And I'm going to try 15 minutes, knowing that's November the 21st. I got the first level pro account. One of the things they were mentioning is you get more data to scroll back to, but I'm just seeing if it has, well, it looks like I might be able to get to it. November, there we are. So here's the move. So in a spot here, if you were at the computer and it was, well, in this case, December 13th, I'm looking for November 21st. So that's not the play. Yeah, this is the play here. This could have been an instant buy. When this happens, you have the price of 1500 and someone, what was the volume on this? 28.1 plus 1.4. I guess 28 Bitcoin worth, I would presume. I guess that's all it could be. So a big buyer comes in, buys 28 Bitcoin worth of Potcoin, and he does so by just buying it all at one time. That's the only thing it could be. That's it. And as I've mentioned before, there are better ways to make larger buys. First thing, you're looking at a coin traded on several exchanges. That makes it an interesting situation. And with low transfer fees, it's, at least on Potcoin's end, you can buy on multiple exchanges. But even still, you don't have to. I think it's best in your spot like this to buy it up gradually by both taking a decent amount of the ask or sell orders, that is, and then fill in some decent buy orders, let other sell orders fill in so that if you're buying it up, you can buy it cheaper. And if you're ever in a situation where if you're buying like a couple dozen Bitcoin worth, that means you're going $250,000, $300,000 or whatever that is. So it's a decent chunk. So if you're going to be playing at a very aggressive level, I mean, you need a better strategy, to say the least. So all the winners are the ones that have these sell orders, because if it's like myself and I happen to log out of my computer and I'm playing this at a super aggressive level and I'm holding a lot of them, what I would tend to have been done coming into this spot, you'd be like, oh, Derek, what's your sell order situation like at this time? Because obviously I'm looking at this chart. It has to pump to like major degrees at this time, does it not? Yeah, okay. I would probably have a small one in around, well, this is 15-minute time frame, but so look at it this way. So I'd probably have one in at around, small one in maybe around 1875. Probably again at about 22, I would have seen this move in here. So I'd just have like 4,000 and like 6,000 and like 10,000. And oh, so there's my 4,000 and 6,000 that would have got hit, plus the other ones. So when I come back and I see this, 4,000 sell, 6,000 sell, thank you. And even if you had, like I say, an 1,800 sell and it settles in there for a while, well, it didn't for the whole time. So that's the general rule within that point. And I got 13 minutes, so I'm not going to do a bunch of different codes in this particular video. I will, well, maybe later on today. But this is, I think, good information, obviously, to be worth noting. If you ever get into a position where you can buy a lot at one time, how is it going to be done? How is the market going to move? Because that'd be an interesting job to have, again, to maybe a little over 24 Bitcoin worth, to have to buy this up. All right then, so thank you for tuning in to today's video, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.